Also, we went to war in order to restore the dignity of the black person. During colonial Rhodesia, there was no dignity for the black person in this country. You couldn't walk in First Street. You have heard that before. It's true. You could not come into town. You needed a letter from some DA somewhere or to say you're allowed to come into town because you're working there. So there was just no dignity for the black man, and we needed that restored. So these are some of the reasons why we went to war. When we were out there, we were taught, and this remained the position until some time after independence, when maybe some of us became wayward. We were taught to share. Whatever was available was shared equally. And I remember the Rhodesians ran a campaign of trying to demonize the guerrilla leaders. I remember there was some leaflets that they drew where they put a guerrilla leader there, sitting there with a big plate full of food, and then a subordinate sitting there with nothing. That was all intended to destroy that which we had, that value of sharing that was being cultivated amongst us. It's unfortunate that after independence, some of us went wayward and we started amassing wealth, we started getting involved in corruption and so on. But we were taught to share. And it's a value that a lot of us retain today.
All right, so breaking news. So Mr. Mnangagwa has appointed a Comrade Gwenzi, General Phillip Valerio Sibanda, is an ex-officio member of the politburo. You all know what happened recently when the news hawks reported that the army fights back at Mr. Mnangagwa. But interestingly, last week he also appointed one of the lieutenant and who was actually the ambassador for Tanzania, if I'm not mistaken. Today we've seen him again appointing, General Phillip Valerio, Sibanda is an ex-official member of the politburo. Quite interesting there, because he is an army, and how does army become partisan? We have known, there've been speculations over the years. Apart from speculations, we have seen the footprints of Zanu PF in most of the state institutions, which includes the army itself. People saying the army is compromised. But then the news hawks reported, they said in an unprecedented move, which may very well be unconstitutional and illegal, President Emmerson Mnangagwa has appointed Zimbabwe Defence Forces Commander General Phillip Valerio Sibanda, popularly known as Comrade Gwenzi, within the liberation struggle Zipra Circles, as an ex-official member of the Zanu PF decision-making administrative organ and the politburo. The dramatic move signals a heightened coup-proofing strategy and further militarization of politics, especially after his recent appointment of Lieutenant General Asenzele Mnamo Sanyatwe as Zimbabwe's National Army Commander, under heavy political pressure from the army. Sanyatwe, former commander of the Presidential Guard, who was instrumental in staging the 2017 coup against the late former President Robert Mugabe, is Vice President Constantino Chiwenga's close ally, and the man Mnangagwa doesn't trust. Announcing Sibanda's surprise appointment is the Zanu PF annual conference in Gweru. Today, Mnangagwa said the Amendment 23 party constitution gives impetuous agency and renewed focus to the socio-economic and political realities of our country towards the lifting men out of poverty and into prosperity. During the course of the year, we lost one of our party stewards, Comrade Joshua Teke Malinga, who was the Secretary for the People with Disabilities. To fill the vacancy, I'm appointing Comrade Mpofu of Matabeleland South Province as a politburo member and the new Secretary for People with Disabilities. Additionally, Comrade Gwenzi, General Phillip Valerio Sibanda, is an ex-official member of the politburo. However, Section 211 of the Constitution says the Defence Forces must respect the fundamental rights and freedoms of all persons and be non-partisan, national in character, patriotic, professional, and subordinate to the civilian authority is established by this Constitution. Sibanda's appointment runs after the letter and spirit of the Constitution. Here we are, Mr. Sibanda. Quite very much interesting just looking at these developments. Interesting. And I'm also agreeing because it's kind of like from 2017 coup, there's been quite a number of things happening in between, but it's always boils on to Mr. Mnangagwa, ways of consolidating power. That's the goal. And we've seen the Songezo drama, which is another deal that we're going to deal with on a live tonight, really just trying to unmask, the steps that are being taken by the regime, just to make sure that at least they keep the pocket of power next to their seat. Quite interesting, really quite interesting of developments. But because people are asking, what does this really mean when you talk of ex-officio? What does that mean? Many people are asking. I want to ask the same thing, but okay, so that's Dr. Ward.
We need to come up with strategies to educate our youth. I think we made some big mistakes from 1980. For example, if we had undertaken a proper national service strategy in this country, our youths would have been properly educated. They would have been given the good virtues for being citizens of this country and also leaders of tomorrow. We lost an opportunity there. And also the educational system, in my view, was good. It produced a lot of academics. It produced a lot of people who can speak very good English. But I don't think we were educated to be patriotic. We lost, again, other opportunities in that area.
Mzembe then came through to explain what that means. He's been part and parcel of Zanu PF, before all the shenanigans that happened in 2017. Went on, tried to explain to people and educate the masses and said, ex-officio politburo member. So what is it? People are asking. An ex-officio member is a member of a body who is part of it by virtue of holding another office. In this case, command of the Defence Forces, CDF, for General Valerio Sibanda. So he becomes a politburo member by right of office. The implications are that much of cabinet policies are generated or given direction from the politburo Zanu PF as a ruling party, and inviting the interests of secretariats at this policy formulation or generation stage simply reflects an extension of November 2017 power sharing understanding of Zanu PF and the military. It is also a consolidation and a reset to Liberation War High Command political architecture that steered the liberation struggle. The unspoken is the subordination of the military factor and a Zanu PF, which would be problematic in the future is if there is a new generation of non-military leader. It appears a natural law, so it appears naturally now because in the hierarchy of Zanu PF itself is a former SDF to whom General Sibanda reported, but Mnangagwa himself, a chairman of the Joint Operation Commander Anta Mugabe, former defense minister, but right from Independence Minister of the State Security. The precedent, though, has been of former CDFs joining the politburo after retirement, as was the case with General Mujuru and Zishavan in Zinabashe, which was a cleaner arrangement constitutionally, sitting inside a politburo where the fate of opposition parties is plotted and decided creates conflict for a CDF, no matter how professional he may want to be seen. It's untidy. It's definitely untidy. It is these boundaries lately that relate to our state design that are being crossed with reckless abandon and disdain, and it should worry any right-thinking person or Zimbabwean person. To a professional soldier, let alone a CDF, the appointment is a poisoned chalice, whichever way one looks at it. General Sibanda ratings with the public are respectably fair to high. I pray he treats this appointment with wisdom. And I agree, because personally, I do love Sibanda. I'm not going to lie. I do love him and I respect him so much. You have heard him speaking, on that interview when he mentioned that we were taught in the liberation struggle to share, to care for each other. But we don't know what happened immediately when we got into power, that things went really ugly. And some of us have been on the journey of, of just collecting. They are on a mission to make sure that they collect to the last. It's all about them. Unfortunately, we can see whatever is happening right now. I can tell you guys, it's going to work for Zimbabweans good. You know, one thing for sure is that Zanu PF has been playing these games for a long time. But when they've been playing the games, it was actually something that wasn't that much, open to us. But now this is 2023 with the power of social media. We are very much informed. We're very much following every step. That's why it was easier for us to actually scrutinize Songeza and knew that the footprints, the hands there. Now we know that Songeza is working with Jonathan. Quite very interesting. But like I said, we're going to run that story tonight on a live, and I'm expecting you guys to be there, and let's tackle this story. All right, guys, thank you so much. This is what I have for you now. See you later on our live at Rumbi Uncensored. Bless you all. I love you. Thank you so much for sticking around. We've had fun, and I'm asking you guys to subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you ring the bell, and see you guys in my next upload. I love you all. Bless you.